Hey guys, what's up? So, this year, Gundam Wing turns 30. Figure what better way to celebrate the 30th anniversary of one of probably the most classic pieces of Gundam media that ever aired in the West, than by looking at one of the original models from 2000. Now, of course, this is a non-grade, meaning that essentially it's not even a high grade in quality, it's just kind of its own thing. So, the charm of these, though, is that while they are outdated, they are designed more like a model kit and they're hand sculpted usually, meaning that they're able to be treated more as a model, less as a figure per se, where something more like a figure, you would probably want articulation to be better, proportion to be a little better. You don't really have that with these. They're more of a charming, hand sculpted, classic model aesthetic. And of course, on the side of the box, you've got your painted up glamour shots, because you have to paint these. These are not something you can just push fit. You could, in theory, but they're not going to look that great. More of the information on this side. WF06, 144th scale, Talgis, Gundam Wing series, figure version, being articulated model kit before high grades were a thing. On this side, you've got probably one of the most charming things of these old models that they used to do with old master grades, but they don't do it anymore, is the pilot figure. And here you've got the Sandrock, you've got the Mercurius, and the one whose name I forget. I'll put it somewhere on screen so you can see it. And of course, we will take a look at what's inside the box. And you've got Zex right here, front and center. Good old time capsule here. I don't know how well this is picking up on camera, but this isn't technically white. We'll get out the manliest knife in the world here. The super manly box cutter. Toss this in the trash can underneath me. Here is that one, I believe, 1/20th scale pilot figure for these, and then one, I think, 20th, I believe, for the other ones. Should say on the back. It doesn't. But hyper detailed. I'll show you guys how to paint him up while we do the model, but these are super cool to have, because then you can just, display them with the kit, and it just turns out so cool most of the time. And of course, them being made of a different, more rubbery material, you have to do different things. As you can see, it's mostly in like a gray plastic. You could, in theory, leave it like this, which I know many people in the 2000s probably did. It's not recommended. And here's your two runners of white. You'll have to do a lot of gap filler on the arms and leg pieces. Like here's the upper legs, here's the lower legs, here's the lower arms, here is the hip pieces here, here's the head. You're gonna have to do a lot of gap filling probably. They're relatively simplistic models though. You usually get about 4 runners per box. And of course you've got your old decal sheet, which are foil seals, and you've got the Talgis bird for Oz. This red marking that I don't remember where it goes because I've not watched Wing in so long. These are supposed to be on the back of the head. Those are supposed to be for the chest vents, and that's just, that's not happening because these don't look good. But we'll leave them out just because that's what comes in the box. Here you've got the gunmetal gray parts, or in this case they're molded in a dark blue. I don't believe they're supposed to be dark blue according to source material, but they could be. Here's the polycap runner. A lot of polycaps. Now this time period, the hands were molded onto the polycaps instead of being a separate piece that was molded onto one of the runners for the inner frame. And of course you've got the painting guide for Zex. And these actually are usually pretty accurate. These go by Mr. Hobby's colors for the most part, so you could, in theory, copy this. I don't plan on it. I have my own recipe for this. But I like keeping them as a little memento. And for the Talgeese itself, you have got the instruction manual laid out in simple enough terms. And of course, you've got your final glamour shots that are painted. And on the back, you've got a little bit of your jargon about the mobile suit itself, its weapon loadout, its back piece, its rifle, and Zex himself. And of course, on the inside, you have got this, which has the entire line here. And I've got all of these models except for, save, the Talgeese 3 and that one. But I have the rest of these. Surprisingly, I got these all on a job lot on eBay for like 120 or 130 bucks, and I've been doing them as both competition pieces and also this type of thing for anniversaries. The DVD collection, that was super sick. I actually kind of want this DVD collection, I'm not going to lie. I've got Endless Waltz on DVD, but I would like the complete series. There is a Gundam marker advertisement. These were still relatively new at the time, so. And then on this side, you have another advert for Gundam markers, which, you know, would have been probably what most modelers at this time would have used. Now, I have no intention of doing this on camera immediately. I'm going to be doing this on camera throughout the coming week. Probably do like a daily video diary of building and painting the Talgeese. But essentially my idea was to do something a little bit different than what I've seen a lot of paint jobs do. Now, essentially, you could do all this in just its basic semi-gloss Mr. Color finish, which would be fine, but I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go for more metallics, because I've done one in its traditional colors with the wing itself. I've done one with the Death Scythe in more of this realistic style. I would like to do like a sort of metallic look for everything. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the majority of the body mold Mr. Hobby Aqueous Gundam Color Gundam White. Of course, we're going to do some pre-shading underneath of it to add some highlights to it, and then I'm going to take and use another Mr. Hobby Aqueous color, which this is essentially incandescence in a jar. It's white pearl. What I'm going to use white pearl for is essentially I'm going to use it as a means of adding an incandescence to this white. Because I've practiced with this before, I've messed around with this pearl paint before. What it essentially does is it puts a mostly iridescence over whatever you put it on. So in this case, it'll just add a shimmer, like the cap has here, to this white. And it'll look really nice. It'll give almost a pearly finish. I think it's very fitting for Zex as a character. For the red on the plume, I'm going to, of course, do this and then add an iridescence over it. Or I may go for the other option of painting it with aluminum silver and adding a clear over it, which will probably be more of a candy color. This might be the better option. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As for all of the vents that we have, I'm probably going to do a gold. Just a standard gold enamel. What I like to do with these models is I try to not use anything too super modern for the most part. I try to keep them within period accuracy. Given the age of a lot of these kits, you know, what you would have had in the States at the time would have probably been testers for the most part, so, and Gundam markers, but I don't plan on using Gundam markers really for anything here. So essentially the game plan is to do everything in a way where it makes sense. So we're going to do, let me get a notepad and show you what the plan is, essentially. So, we are going to essentially do what is considered a modeling plan for this. And sometimes you'll have to make these whether you want to or not. They feel like homework. They're really not, but they're important to have so you can keep your game plan in mind. So for the main body color, I'm not intentionally using red, it's what I had close to me. We're going to do Gundam white and pearl. And then for the inner frame, we are going to do we'll use ghost gray. Or in this case, a metallic ghost gray. The vents will be a nice metallic gold. Nice metallic gold, and then of course the plume will be metallic red. Now, the reason why this comes in handy is so as you're planning out your build, you can have your colors set aside and ready to go. Of course, we'll prime everything with the Aqueous Surfacer. And of course, we'll do it in Surfacer, Gundam White, then the Pearl. The inner frame will be a metallic ghost gray. The vents will remain gold, and the plume will be a metallic red. Now on here, I want to try to find our plume. So these will be gold. These will be a metallic gray. I'm not worried about touching it with this. The back of the head here will be gold. This logo will be gold. Let's see, where would that head fin be exactly? Oh yes, the beam saber will be painted separately, because this time the beam sabers were attached to the suit, to the runner for the suit itself. Oh yes, here's the plume. I don't know how well you can see, but right here is the plume. Yeah, I'm glad we're opting to paint all of this fully, because if not, this would be a lot more difficult than you would imagine it would be. So, we have got our game plan. We've got all of our runners out. We have got everything ready to go. Essentially what we're going to do next is we're going to run through the build process, and then we're going to get everything ready to go. Now, of course, in the next video, we're going to get everything off the runners, get everything gap filled, assembled, ready to go, and prepped for painting in order to celebrate Gundam's 30th anniversary. Well, Gundam Wing's 30th anniversary. Hopefully you guys will join me for this daily video diary where I go through and do a complete build and paint process for a classic model. I look forward to you guys coming back and watching with me. If you want to keep up to date on the project and get your daily updates, of course, subscribe. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.